अस्सलाम वालेकुम क्लास 10. अस्सलाम वालेकुम class 10. Okay, bete, we have started chapter number 1, gaseous exchange. We have started chapter number 1, gaseous exchange. Okay, today we will do the topic the mechanism of breathing. Okay, so take out page number 7. Page number 7, topic is given the mechanism of breathing. Yesterday we have discussed about the uh, air passageway. Okay, breathing system. I have told you our respiratory system consists of two parts. First is called the air passageway, in which we had discussed about the nasal cavity, pharynx, glottis, epiglottis, larynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchi, and alveoli, alveolar duct, and alveolus. Okay, and after that I have give you the briefly description of the lungs. They are present in our chest. Okay, and they have 12 pairs of ribs. Okay, and our right lung is slightly bigger than our left lung. Right lung has 3 lobes and left lung has 2 lobes. Okay, today we will discuss the mechanism of breathing, how breathing is happen inside our body. Okay, what is its mechanism? So keep in your mind the physical movements associated with the gaseous exchange are called breathing. So there are two phases of breathing, that is inhalation and exhalation. So this is very clear to us. Inhalation and exhalation you can also see on the screen. Okay, inhalation and exhalation. Okay, so this topic we are doing inhalation and exhalation. So what is this inhalation and what is an exhalation and what is the difference between two? I will tell you in a steps. Inhalation means when we take oxygen inside our body. So what is happened at that time in our body? First of all, during inspiration or inhalation, they both are same. Okay, so during inspiration, the rib muscles contract and ribs are raised. Rib muscles are contract and your rib muscles are raised. It means they are expand. So second point is that at the same time, dome shaped diaphragm contracts and is lowered. Diaphragm, I have told you, you can also see in the diagram. Okay, there is a muscular sheet under your legs. Okay, I have told you this is called diaphragm. So when you inhale oxygen inside our body, at the time your rib muscles are contract and your lungs are raised. Okay, they are expand, and this dome shaped diaphragm is contracted and lowered. Okay, it becomes flattened, it goes straight. So what is happened? These movements increase the area of the thoracic cavity, which reduces pressure on lungs. Okay, so because of them, the air which is going inside your body, that pressure can be easily maintained by your lungs. So as a result, this is the fourth point: the lungs expand, and the air pressure within them also decreases, and the air from outside rushes into the lungs to equalize the pressure on both sides. So these are 4 steps you have to keep in your mind. First is that rib muscles are contract and the ribs are raised. Okay. Second point is that dome shaped diaphragm contracts and is lowered. Third is that thoracic cavity is expand, which reduces the pressure on lungs. And the last point is that the lungs expand and the air pressure within them also decreases. So the air from outside rushes into the lungs to equalize the pressure on both sides. Definitely, when air enters into our lungs, so it should be balanced. So how is it balanced? Due to the expansion of lungs. Second part is that expiration or exhalation, how carbon dioxide is taken out from our body, how is get rid of our lungs. So this procedure is the opposite of inhalation. You can see in your book, this is given in your book, expiration or inhalation. Okay, After the gases exchange in the lungs, when gases exchange is done in the lungs, so what is happened in the lungs? The impure air is expelled out in exhalation. So what is that air? That air is actually carbon dioxide. So the rib muscles, inspiration, you have studied rib muscles contract and ribs are raised. Expiration is that rib muscles relax and bringing the ribs back to the original position. So what is happened in exhalation? The rib muscles relax and bring ribs back to the original position. Inspiration, you have studied that dome shaped diaphragm contracts and is lowered. Okay, so expiration is opposite. The diaphragm muscles also relax and it gets its raised dome shape. So you can also see in the diagram, see on the screen, when we are going to expired air, it comes into a dome shape. Okay, you can see this is its dome shape. So what will be happen? Its muscles will be relaxed and it will come again in a dome shape when there is expiration. Third point is that, which we had discussed, the thoracic cavity is expanded, which reduces the pressure on lungs. Okay, so here third point is that this reduces the space in the chest cavity and increases the pressure on lungs. Okay, in inspiration, in this step, the air pressure is released in the is less on the lungs. Okay, but in expiration, the pressure of air is increased on the lungs. Okay, and the last point is that the air from outside rushes into the lungs to equalize the pressure on both sides. Inspiration, in expiration, the lungs contract and the air is expelled out of them. What is happened? The lungs contract. Okay, they will be squeezed and the air is expelled out of them. If you see this mechanism of breathing, you can understand that inspiration and expiration, they both are opposite to each other. Okay, you can also see these points on your book, which I have shared picture with you. You can see the first point is that the rib muscles contract and raise and are raised. Okay, here is the first point is that what is happened, rib muscles relax. Okay, and and they're bringing the ribs back to its original position. Okay, so when you have to learn, you have to make its points. You have to make its 4 points. 4 points are inspiration and 4 points are of expiration. Okay, and this topic is important for your long question, the mechanism of breathing. Now we will discuss how many times a person can breathe in per minute. Okay, humans breathe 16 to 20 times per minute in normal circumstances at rest. The rate of breathing is controlled by the respiratory center in the brain. Definitely, who control this system? This respiratory system is controlled by our brain. In our brain, there are different centers. Okay, some controls our respiratory system, some controls our circulatory system, some controls our digestive system, some controls our vision system, some controls our hearing system, some controls our renal system. So many functions work at the same time in human body, and all these systems have centers in the brain. So all systems are controlled by our brain. So this is clear to us that the respiratory center, the respiratory system is controlled by our brain. Okay, so the respiratory center is sensitive to the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood. Concentration of carbon dioxide, it means the large amount of carbon dioxide. Okay, we also know this thing. If we see the composition of air, we can understand that in the air 0.03% carbon dioxide is present. And we also know this reality that carbon dioxide is not necessary for human health. But if you I will show a table on the next page. but in our body 4% carbon dioxide is produced. So question is very clear that in our environment there is 0.03%, but in our body it is producing 4%. So how, from where this carbon dioxide comes? Answer is very simple. When our food is digested and converted in the form of blood, and when this blood goes each and every cell in our body through circulatory system, so at that time our cells respire, they get oxygen from the blood and get energy, and in return they send carbon dioxide in the blood. So because of that, the blood can become viscous. Viscous means it can be become thick. Okay, so this is an automatic system. When our blood get carbon dioxide, so immediately when we taken out breathe, when we exhaled air, so that carbon dioxide immediately remove from our body. So because our body is made by a million trillion cells, okay, so a lot of carbon dioxide is produced inside our body as compared to our surrounding. Okay, so I think this point should be clear to you that 0.03% carbon dioxide is in our surrounding, but 4% carbon dioxide is producing inside our body. Okay, so I think this line should be clear to you. The respiratory system is sensitive to the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood. So when we do exercise or some hard job, okay, our muscle cells carry out cellular respiration. We also know this reality when we are doing hard exercise, when we are running very fast. At that time our cells began to respire. At that time our body needs a lot of energy. So how do we get this energy? We get this energy at that time from our cells. In the energy which is stored in our cells in the form of ATP molecules. ATP molecules I have discussed with you in class 9 chapter. ATP means these are energy molecules, okay, which are called adenine triphosphate. Okay, so at that time these molecule bonds are broken down and they release energy inside our body, and a person gets energy. Okay, so because of that you can see when we do hard exercise and some hard job, our muscle cells carry out cellular respiration at greater rate. It results in the production of more carbon dioxide, which is released in the blood. This greater than normal concentration of carbon dioxide stimulates the respiratory center of brain. Definitely, when more carbon dioxide will be produced in our blood due to cellular respiration, so our respiratory system, the center of respiratory system, which is located in our brain, it will be activated. It is sensitive, so it will be activated. So what will be happen? The respiratory centers send messages to the rib muscles and diaphragm to increase the rate of breathing. This is you also know that when you runs very fast and when you stop running, what is happening with you? Definitely at that time you take long breaths. Why do you take long breaths? Because at that time your lungs need more oxygen, so you take more long breaths to fulfill the deficiency of oxygen in your body. Okay, so the respiratory system send, because respiratory system is present in the brain, and we know this thing that brain is the head of our body. Okay, so all organs are under control of our brain. So brain send message to the respiratory center sends message to the rib muscles and diaphragm to increase the rate of breathing, so that the excess carbon dioxide present in blood can be removed out of body. So this is an automatic process which happens when we do hard exercise, when we do any hard job. So during exercise or other hard physical work, the breathing rate may increase up to 30 to 40 times per minute. In normal, I have told you a human breath rate is 16 to 20 times per minute. But when you do hard exercise and hard job, at that time your breathing rate should be increased and it can be 30 to 40 times per minute. Okay, so you have to underline in your book for your MCQs. Okay, this is very important. Humor rate is 16 to 20 times. Okay, and then you have to underline it is increased due to hard exercise 30 to 40 times per minute. Okay, now come to next page. Okay, bete, you can see the diagram. This diagram. Okay, so in this diagram you can see air moves in. Okay, so air is going inside the mouth. Okay, so then you can see the position of the ribs. I have told you okay, when there is inspiration, so what is happen in inspiration or inhalation, the rib muscles are contracts and ribs are raised. Okay, and what is happened here, the diaphragm began to flatten, it go to straight, it doesn't come to dome shape. Okay, and so why the ribs are raised? Because they maintain the pressure of air in the lungs. Okay, so this is very important, inhalation. And the other side you can see there is another, this is exhalation. In this diagram you can see the rib muscles go back to its original position. Okay, and your diaphragm goes into the dome shape. Okay, so when there is inhalation, oxygen comes inside your body, and when there is exhalation, carbon dioxide get rid of your body. And this table I have told you, this is very important for your MCQs. So right here for important MCQs, and you have to learn very carefully. Okay, now come to the page number 11. Come to next page. Come to next page, page number 11, respiratory disorders. Respiratory disorders. Okay, respiratory disorders. It is given on page number 11. Okay, and before that, all practical work is given, which we will do in the science lab. Okay, respiratory orders. There are a number of respiratory disorders which affect people. Okay, bete, you can see in the diagram, in the picture. Okay, this is respiratory disorder, which is given on page number 11. Okay, now we will start this topic, respiratory disorders. Okay, so what is the meaning of respiratory disorder? Respiratory means breathing system, the problems which are related to your breathing system. And this means not, and order means not functioning. Order means function. So disorder means the things which are not going proper functioning inside the body. Okay, so there are a number of respiratory disorders which affect people. The percentage of such disorder is particularly high in Pakistan. So it is due to the more concentration of air pollutants is not only in the urban but also in the rural atmosphere. So this situation is very same in both areas, urban and rural areas. Okay, because of due to pollution. Some of the important respiratory disorders are described in next. So there are some respiratory orders are given in your book. These are bronchitis, emphysema, pneumonia, and asthma. Okay. So first of all, Betty, we will discuss about the bronchitis. Okay, what is bronchitis? Bronchitis is the inflammation of the bronchi or bronchioles. I have told you about respiratory system. When our trachea enters into our body, when the right part goes into the right lung and the left part goes into the left lung. Okay, and when it enters into the lungs, it further divided into small tubes. So that small tubes are called bronchioles. Okay, so actually bronchitis is the inflammation. Inflammation means swelling. Okay, so inflammation of the bronchi or bronchioles. It results in excessive secretions of mucus into the tubes. So what is happen in this problem? At that time, excessive mucus secrete, okay, secrete means produce in the tubes, leading to the swelling of tubular walls. Okay, because of that the walls become swell and narrowing of tubes, and tubes becomes narrow. So definitely I have told you okay, our breathing is controlled and completed in our alveoli. So first trachea is divided into bronchioles, and at the end of bronchiole there are air sacs which are called alveoli. So actually gaseous exchange happens in the alveoli. So to reach to alveoli, the air air have to pass first of all through bronchioles. So when bronchioles will be swell, bronchioles will be narrow, so the breathing issues will be created and a person cannot breathe easily. Okay, gases exchange will be happen, but it will be a difficult process. Okay, so mark in your book, what is bronchitis? It is the inflammation of the bronchi or bronchioles. Okay, and what is happening in this problem? It results to excessive secretions of mucus into tubes, leading to the swelling of tubular walls and narrowing of tubes. It is caused by virus. So how it is happened? It is caused by virus, bacteria, or exposure to chemical irritants. For example, tobacco smoke. So it has many reasons. Okay, it can be viral, it can be bacterial, and it can be produced by chemical irritants like a person who are a and chemical irritants like tobacco smoke. Okay, now next one is there are two major types of bronchitis. Now we can be divided bronchitis into two types. Okay, it is given on page number 12. First is called acute bronchitis and the second is called chronic bronchitis. Okay, so what is the difference between two? In acute bronchitis, usually a person takes 2 weeks and recover with no permanent damage to the bronchi or bronchioles. Okay, so in acute bronchitis a person takes 2 weeks for recovery and there is no damage of any wall, any bronchi or any bronchiole. But in chronic bronchitis, this is dangerous. In the bronchi develop chronic inflammation. It usually lasts for 3 months to 2 years. Okay, so it takes time. A person can take 3 months or and can take 2 years for recovery. Okay, so what are symptoms of bronchitis? Symptoms of bronchitis include a cough, mild wheezing, fever, chills, and shortness of breath, especially when doing hard job. Okay, you can also see the blue box. The majority of people diagnosed with chronic bronchitis are 45 years of age or older. Okay, so chronic bronchitis can be happen mostly those people whose age is 45 or above. Okay, so when you have to learn and when you have to write in your register bronchitis, first of all you have to give the introduction. What is bronchitis? It is the inflammation of the bronchi. Next you will tell what is the cause of bronchitis. Okay, you have to tell the reason, and after that you have to tell its types. There are two types of bronchitis, acute and chronic, and then you have to tell the symptoms of bronchitis. Okay, it can also come in long question as mostly it comes in short question. For example, a question comes, write symptoms of bronchitis. How many types of bronchitis? Define bronchitis. What are the reasons of bronchitis? Okay, so different question comes in the board exam. Next one is emphysema, and inshallah we will discuss in our next lecture. Okay, so today I have explained you till page number 12 bronchitis. Okay, inshallah in next lecture we will discuss emphysema, pneumonia, asthma, and then lung cancer and bad effects of smoking. Okay beta, now your lecture has been ended. If you have any issue you can ask me. Thank you so much. जहाँ पे खत्म हो गई कुछ नहीं होगा। अभी हम वाले में